Hello. Hi, how is everyone doing? Hope everyone is okay. I've started on a light note, but I'm very happy for those that have subscribed, and those that haven't, please do. Please keep on liking our page, follow, and recommend it to others for a very informative information that you won't hear anywhere else apart from this channel. Today, since Kenya is going to have polls in August this year, I think today I'll be focusing more on that election since I've been following it for quite some time and the political players involved. So today I'll be talking about that specifically, and I'll be discussing the big wigs in their political arena and those people I consider the favorites, those people that matter to the election of that country in particular. So today we are going to try and break down, not today alone, but from today moving forward, we will be breaking down personalities, political leaders and players, and discuss the possible the possibilities of them becoming something, maybe leaders, maybe members of parliament. So we'll be discussing all that. Today specifically, I'll begin by Odinga. I think is the oldest in all of them, if I'm not mistaken. So I begin with him. We need to understand why some people do what they do and how politics is as it is. So since I said I will start with Odinga, I'll make it so brief. So Odinga was born on 7th January 1945. Now he's 77 years in Maseno, Kenya. Odinga, here they tell us political parties has been with before Forum for Restoration of Democracy, that was formed Kenya. Forum for Restoration of, it was formed in the first place after splitting it with Eugene Wamalwa, then he got for Kenya, then the other one got for Asiri, went away with Ford Asiri, that was Eugene Wamalwa. That was 1992 to 1994 for Kenya. So the National Development Party, that was from 1994 to 2000. Kenyan African, this is KANU. So this is the time he joined KANU. Between 2000 and 2002, he went into KANU and split it apart. Those Moi days, those days of Moi. So the Liberal Democratic Party from 2002 to 2005 up to the referendum in 2005. Then in 2005, that's when he formed the Orange Democratic Movement. Till now, he's still in that Orange Democratic Movement since 2005. In coalitions, and then he had a coalition of CORD involving 2012-2017, involving Kalonzo Musyoka. It was involving Moses Wetangula, so many other leaders. So National Super Alliance from 2017, this involved Moses Wetangula, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Salia Mudavadi. So, I think so far with political parties and political alliances, that's enough for that. So the positions as he has been to was the Prime Minister. He was once a Prime Minister after the 2005 genocide, 2007 genocide, post-election violence that happened in Kenya. He was the what? So that's so far the written information about Raila Amollo Odinga. So we are going to discuss that's what we know, but what I haven't mentioned. So this is a guy, by the age of 12, he was already demonstrating about the poor leadership of President Moi by that time, by the age of 12 years. So this should tell you something as we go on. So when that 1982 coup, when that coup happened, what actually it was an attempted coup, sorry, didn't succeed. When it happened, Raila Odinga was mentioned among the ones that were trying to organize that coup. So he had to flee. When he flee the country, he was in exile for some time. Which country was that? I've forgotten that, but he was outside for some good time. So when he came back, I think he came back at around when they pardoned him. But you have to remember, those were Moi days, and it was those days were a single party state. So when he came back and found other people that were fighting and agitating for multipartyism. So he joined them. Those people were this old man that died, the Nyachais, that guy, I've forgotten the name, Kenneth Matiba, yes. Kenneth Matiba, he found them. So when they joined hands in the last days of Moi, I think promised so many of them to leave the presidency to him. That's why I think they joined him, including Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, I remember, was in that cabinet. Uhuru Kenyatta was also in that cabinet. Musalia Mudavadi was brought in as a vice president in the last 2 years of Moi. So many things. Even actually, Ruto was in the youth wingers in 1992 that came through. So that tells you what these guys are all children of the state. They were all once in the same government. So we came to an election of 2002. That's when Raila started to make a mark in politics, though he started on a bad note, because he started by betraying his comrades. Because remember, those days they had an alliance. So I forgot that alliance with the Kibaki. Remember, Kenneth Matiba was already in the struggle before Kibaki came in. Because Kibaki, remember, he came in after defaulting from KANU when Uhuru Kenyatta was declared to become president. To become the presidential candidate of KANU. That's when Kibaki bolted from KANU. So when he came into the opposition, he found other players, Kenneth Matiba, Ojema, so many others, Martha Karua. There were so many by that time in the last days of Moi, including the professor. He was once a vice president of Moi, Oko. Yeah, so by that time, everyone was already scheming to become president, including the Mzabalis, including so many people were agitating to become president. So by that time, Kenneth Matiba was the favorite person to become president in the opposition. So when they joined hands, that was when Raila came into that coalition, they needed to have one presidential candidate. So what happened to those guys? They came to a rally. They had never discussed who is going to be president. So what Raila did, he came and endorsed Kibaki before even on the rally, before even they had a conversation about it in a meeting. So what he did at that point, he had already went sorry I was saying, what he did at that point was he betrayed his own comrades, and by doing so, he endorsed Kibaki Tosha, the famous Kibaki Tosha. On the rally, they were not informed at all. So the Kenneth Matibas, the Nyachai, there are so many. So that's when Raila cut his own image to me as a traitor. The challenge with him he was built by the state. the Odinga family has been built by a state, just like the way you say the Mudavadis, the Kalonzos, these guys, even Uhuru Kenyatta actually, they were just built and groomed to be leaders of the country. They have never done anything apart from politics. No one of them has ever done anything. No one has even been in public service for any single day. Remember, Mudavadi came in at a young age, became minister by Moise. You know what? Just mercy. Uhuru the same. Odinga at 12 he was already in politics. His father, all the competitors from the Luo Nyanza were killed. All the progressive brains, like those of Tom Mboya. You remember Tom Mboya was once used to age out the senior Odinga. So after aging him out, he was also killed. But by killing Tom Mboya, Kenyatta had made the senior Odinga, I don't remember, Ojinga Odinga, the de facto leader of the Luo Nyanza, indismissible. So by doing that, he built the Odinga's family. So moving forward, Odinga's family became the de facto. Remember, it was a de facto, one single party. So they became the de facto opposition party with their, was it Kadu? I think it was Kadu, their party after he bolted from Kano. So when time went on, when this JJ Kariuchi, the Charles Ouko, all of those were killed in favor of the Odinga's family because they were a threat. I want you to understand this. They were all killed because they were a threat to the Odinga's family to keep their control over the Luo Nyanza. Those guys had to get out of the equation. So that's why I think the state has been behind the Odinga's family success. So we proceed. We come to just of recent in 2007. What happened? They had a code alliance. In that code alliance included William Ruto. After the elections, of which we all think they won uncontestiously, they won that election, but the system was not ready to give them power at that time. So what happened? The election was rigged, and what happened, and I'm yet to understand why the fighting was more in the central Kenya, killing those Kalenjin and others, and in the Kalenjins, I don't understand. In the Rift Valley, why? Because Raila was the one whose votes were stolen. I know the Pentagon, that Pentagon government and coalition had so many other leaders. Musalia Mudavadi, including Ruto, was one of the principals. So how come, listen, the Western region, the Luo Nyanza, we didn't see too much of the violence? It's more than what we saw in central Kenya and the Rift Valley. What happened? What was the puzzle between there? So after all that saga, everything that happened, they went into discussions and agreements. They agreed, they shared power. So when they shared power, and just after like 2 years, Raila had already started plotting to decapitate his Pentagon core principles already, because I remember Ruto was sacked from the ministerial position. Remember, he was promised a prime minister's position if they had won. Now things went south. So when they went south, they had to find another position. And that same position, he didn't even last for the whole term. He was sacked from that position. So you see how things went worse for Raila. So Raila has been that guy who doesn't repay his debts, or he doesn't sorry for that. Raila doesn't pay his comrades, doesn't pay for those who have done good things for him. He doesn't even recognize the fact that you helped him at one time, at a certain point. So by moving on, we went after all that happened. 2007, they had that government of national unity. As he was the prime minister by that time. So we went into 2013. For him, we thought, you know what he does? Every elections, he drops some people, he acquires new people. So they went to another election in 2013. Now he was versing. Remember, after the post-election violence, they had they took it. Actually, it was Odinga and his team that frustrated all the local tribunals such that Uhuru and Ruto may be tried in the ICC. So the guys went to ICC, courtesy of Raila Odinga. Up to now, everyone knows. So, and this was the guy that was behind all his so-called success and the votes he brought with him from the Rift Valley. But after just like 3 years, 4 years, the guy was being taken to Hague, courtesy of the same people that was supporting by that time. So that portrayed Raila as someone who easily forgets those who have done good to him. So after that, when things went after some time, he went into a coalition, another coalition. I think it was NASA. 2013, it was NASA, National Super Alliance. So when they came together with I remember Mudavadi at that time vied alone. Yeah, remember he was also tricked by Uhuru Kenyatta to the last point. Uhuru went with Ruto. So Mudavadi went alone up to the ballot. So they formed the NASA coalition. Now that NASA coalition, sorry. So they after those elections, he went to court. And these guys were acquitted of the cases in the ICC. When they were acquitted, they came back. Now Ruto started plotting for his presidency for 2022, since Uhuru had on the 2 terms. So what they did at that same point, Raila had already planned to age out his comrades. For him, he make sure for him to stay relevant and stay the de facto leader, anyone close to him has to go. This explains why he aged out now Jimmy Wanjigi, he aged out Miguna. Ruto, remember Miguna was the one that helped age out Ruto at that time. So when you see this guy, him talking, he's surviving on other people's sweat. They make him something, she sent them home to rest. So he's been using Davadi Musyoka for quite like 20 years now, but he still says he's still the one man they should support him. Either if they are with him, they are good. If they go away from him, they deserve nothing. They are crooks, they stole, they did what. But when they are with him, nothing is cool. So this is I want to digest this, what they say is a state project. He's been a state project since I don't know when. Because I remember his father was out at independence 1963. His father was out of prison. So what they did before he actually was the one supposed to be the president at that time. So what they did, he said, I want, because it was also being used by the state at that time. So he refused to become anything before the comrades are out. The comrades included Jomo Kenyatta. So when Jomo Kenyatta came out, he was given the presidency. So he felt disowned by he felt entitled. He was entitled to become president. So he had that inferiority in him. So that's the day. Since that day was a project. It was first a project of the colonialist, but after they went, it's still the project of the government. All what they did, they made sure they preserve him. Preserve him for what? For what he's doing right now. Not him alone, but the family. This family is always pretending to be the opposition while they are keeping the others in power. Everything they do is barring from others to contest the current government. So for an ordinary person, you won't understand this. But what you need to know, politics is a game, and it's a game of trickery. You have to understand, just like how chess is played, you have to understand how things work. So when he came in 2017, after the elections, they went to court. They went to court, and the court, the good thing, nullified the election. But after, he didn't participate in the repeat election. What he did was to organize riots and what and what. And I think this agreement was handshake. They call it a handshake. It was premeditated. Because he didn't invite his co-principals in the NASA coalition. He didn't call Musali. I told them I'll call you on the Nigeria line phone number. They waited. Kalonzo Musyoka said he waited, and the guy didn't call. So this was premeditated. He knew what was going to happen, that he needed to go alone because he's selfish. I know it's all about being selfish in politics and interest, but sometimes you have to show gratitude for those who have sacrificed things for you to put you where you are. So when he cut the deal alone. He left these others. So, but he knew making that deal that some of the people are not going to accept that deal. People like Miguna, because Miguna is uncompromisable. So he had to get rid of Miguna. That's what he did. So when he got rid of Miguna, he was left with now this Jimmy Wanjigi, the others. He ran away from them, the Musalias. They didn't know anything about it. So what Uhuru Kenyatta did, he thought he was going to twist them to support Raila again, of which it seems Kalonzo is going to support him again, but Mudavadi went away from him. Because now they say it's been too much. You have supported you have got nothing. Let's change and support. But they've been supporting him, they were good. But now after supporting another person, they are very evil. They don't deserve anything good and any good compliment. So after understanding all that, me, I think Raila cannot be president. So I know he's obsessed with becoming president because up to now he still prefers to be called former prime minister. That shows you what's behind his psyche. He still needs to be, that title. Remember, even his father wanted, but it didn't happen. Just by, politics is a chance. It's just a game of luck. You might fail, and another one comes and does it in just a simple time. So I think he feels entitled. He needs to be something, but Raila has never been anything. He doesn't stand for anything. Anyone who forgets his comrades, anyone who forgets the people that have made him, I don't have any respect for that person. The day he got rid of Miguna, how can you do that? Everyone feared to swear him in. Miguna stood out his neck and, saw the guy in. But just after it wasn't even after 2 months, the guy was already being bamboozled. Up to now, he doesn't even say anything. He has control over the state, over the government. He can do something. But the guy is doing nothing. So, for you to understand what politicians think, you must look at their actions, not what they say. He doesn't stand for anything. For so long, he has been against the status quo. But now, it's the one supporting the status quo to stay. This shows you why. Why? They are desperate. I don't know why up to now I'm still figuring it out. Why do they fear Ruto so much? Why do they fear William Samoei Ruto so much? The chief chicken seller. Why? I still don't understand. To be desperate to that point, I saw Uhuru Kenyatta talking. This is too much. We need to assess this and understand what's the problem that is not happening. What is it? You know, maybe I'll discuss when their time comes. But according to the way these things, Raila might be disappointed again for his last lap. Remember, I had promised to support him, Kalonzo Musyoka. Now, where is he? He still needs to be supported again. So, me personally, I think he's not going to win the presidency because of some reasons. He's not trustable. His comrades, he always forgets his people. We have a Jimmy Wanjigi factor. We have a state project factor. People hate projects. We have Miguna factor. People might wish it away, but Miguna is going to affect it. Miguna and Jimmy Wanjigi are going to affect Raila vigorously. And it has nothing to do with it, because now recently I heard them announcing that they will not have whole presidential primaries. How can you even do that? Just because of one person. You call it and you don't give him, that's all. Instead of shouting and making noise. But now they are fidgeting. That shows you that these guys, no one of them believes in what they say. No one believes in the rule of law. No one of them does. But they will come and convince you about things. Akina this. No one believes in that. So let's wait for August 9th. Maybe he's counting on stealing the votes. Let's wait and see how that will play out. Because even if you look at the numbers are not in his side. Kalenjin alone is 13% of the Kenyan population. Nyanza is 11%, 10 to 11%. So how, even if you take only that, how is he going to pass this guy? Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and follow. Subscribe to my channel for more informative videos.